I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby, here with Peter Hoar, Director of the acclaimed third episode of HBO's The Last of Us. Firstly, Peter, congratulations on your Emmy nomination for a
Thank
long,
you
long
very
time.
much.
Very exciting. Now, what does it mean to you personally and professionally to have shepherded this beautiful, tragic, post-apocalyptic, queer love story?
I mean, it means a huge amount to me personally. I guess I've been doing this for a number of years. No one's ever heard of me before now, obviously, but I have been doing it for a number of years. And recently I started to find a groove. And I think that's kind of what you hope you will do as look, I'd like to say filmmaker. I've only ever made TV, but storyteller. Let's say storyteller. You hope that you can align yourself with a story that really talks to you and speaks from the heart. And I recently did a TV show called It's a Sin for HBO Max and Channel 4. And it was a story about four gay young men in London in the early 80s and their lives and the onslaught of AIDS, basically. And it was a wonderful, wonderful, human, beautiful show. But I felt for the first time like I know how to tell this story. I know what it means. I know how to do it. And I just thought, there you go. I've done it. That's my thing. I did that show. And then that not only do I get to do it again with a queer love story, I also get to do my other thing that I love, which is sci-fi. And to have both of them together was just a gift. Honestly, it was just the most amazing thing. I said yes to doing the show based on the title, The Last of Us, because I'm a big gamer as well. And so I just said, a colleague of mine, Rose Lamb, who was one of the line producers, said, "Are you interested?" I said, "Yes, I'll do it. Whenever. Tell me when I start." And then they sent the script, and then I read this most stunning piece of writing from Craig Mazin. And I just went, I can't believe they want me to do this. So I took the interview, and then it all went well, and then I did it. And it was, it's an episode of TV, and you come and you go, you're in and out, and you don't always know how well it went, I suppose, is one way of putting it, because you do your job well, and then it came out, and then everybody reacted, and I've never ever known anything like it. It was incredible.
Yeah, more so than most films these days. When that episode came out, I felt it felt like it was something different in the pop culture. It was a moment, and it was because everyone was on their A game. Craig Mazin is just one of my favorite writers. Evan Bolter, his lensing of that episode just blew me away, and your directing was so breathtaking. And I'm not trying not to be hyperbolic, but I'm curious, like when if this is a story about what it means to be loved and what it means to love through this particular post-apocalyptic setting. So did that sense of doing something really special permeate on set during production?
Well, I say we all, I mean, I guess yes, it did. I was going to say we all, meaning Evan Bolter, a wonderful DP, and Murray and Nick and Pedro and Bella. We all knew it was an amazing piece of writing. Obviously, Pedro and Bella had been in other episodes as well, so they kind of knew it was going really well anyway. But they were very much at the beginning of that journey, finding their characters. Their characters were changing as we every day as the journey unfolded. But I think we all knew we had something special. We all worried that we would perhaps overcomplicate it, overthink it, when we knew we had the best guide that we could have ever had. And I guess as a director, I tend to, again, I think my job is not to be noticed. My job is to tell the story so well that you don't even notice what I did, and you don't feel like there was a director present. It just sort of happened to you, and it washes over you in a good way. And I think that was my goal. That was what I wanted to do. But also from day one, when I arrived, and they went, "Oh, hi, who are you?" And I Peter Hoar, and they were like, "Oh, right, well, which episode are you doing?" And I said, "Well, secrets. It was episode 4. It's now episode 3, but it was episode 4." So I said episode 4, and without fail, all of the cast and crew were like, "Oh, my God, that's my favorite. Oh my God, that episode. Oh, it breaks my heart. So I kind of got this feeling that it wasn't just me and it wasn't just us at the front line. It was a lot of people reading this thing going, wow. So again, it was like, we just have to do it well. We just have to do it justice.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God, it's so much pressure. And it helps that you have Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett at the number one and number two or whatever on the call sheet. Some of their best work to date in their careers. What did you most value about each of them and what they brought to this particular episode?
Wow. I mean, Murray is, well, look, firstly, they are both two of the most generous, big-hearted individuals you'll ever meet. I think that meant a big deal. We were, when you cast, Murray was already in place. I not worked with Murray before, but HBO had. HBO sung his praises and said, look, we really think you should meet this guy. This is to Craig, because we think he's perfect. And Craig agreed. And then Murray was in. Murray was going to do Frank. But we had to scramble a bit, basically, because we did lose an actor due to COVID, and not completely lost. I mean, as in couldn't do the job because schedules went the wrong way, and so we talked about, and I was lucky enough to be part of that conversation. And it was one of those things. Nick Offerman. Everybody was going, Nick Offerman. It's like too good to be true. It's like obvious, right? Because of what Bill mostly is. But the other part of what Bill is unknown with Nick Offerman. And honestly, hilariously funny, brilliant mind, really a practical guy. And that, of course, helped because half of the things started breaking or whatever. And he'd be like, oh, that's not right. Let me pick that up and I'll fix that, put that back where it should go. And but I think his open heart nature, he's just a good guy. And he knew also that he had to do the best by it. He knew it was that good. He, in fact, almost turned it down because he didn't think he was good enough to do it. He thought, I'm not going to be able to do this. And he also thought his schedule was not working. And his wife, who I owe everything to, Megan, said, you're going to Calgary. So he did. And look, it's, as I said, it's episodic TV. So we didn't have a great amount of time, if any, to rehearse or to discuss. We had one big dinner where we all mostly talked about other things, and I think they went straight into fittings because they had all of these prosthetics for aging. So we didn't really see them much, and we were prepping, and they were getting all these things done, and then we just sort of came together on set, and they just worked so well together. And again, that's why casting is so important, because you do get the magic when you get it right. And it just worked. It wasn't over. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. They just worked as a couple, and they were just great. They were just great to watch. Really amazing.
My final question is that final shot, because it's seems so simple on the page, or however the first came out.
It wasn't on the page.
It wasn't on the page, was it? Because it's just that made me so sad in a good way. Talk me through that.
Yeah. So basically, it wasn't actually on the page. And it's the only real moment I can claim as my own, because Craig is such a genius. But we had all talked, Craig and I and Neil Druckmann, the game creator, we'd all talked about the not screensaver, but they have like a menu screen on the game. And it's an open window. It's a house that's been decayed, destroyed, and then greenery is grown all over it, and then there's this very gently blowing sort of net curtain in the window, and that is a very evocative image. It's just so oddly still and kind of beautiful, but very terrifying. And so we all thought that was an incredible thing, and we were like, how can we make this how can we do this? And Craig initially wanted it every episode to start that way. Or in the grand plan, it was that HBO would have a completely different interface on their system, so that you would press play on each episode with this window image. Obviously, that didn't happen, but I just took it and ran with it, really. And I guess I was thinking, I also had the first proper domestic scene in episode became 3. I had a house and I had windows, so it just seemed to all fall into place for me, because I had the perfect position. I had the perfect story point when we had Joel and Ellie driving away in the car, in the truck, which is the only reason for the story to happen in the game. You go to Billstown so you can get that truck. That's really all it's about. You do have to fight a lot of zombies on the way, but that level is about get that truck and then move on to the next level. So there they go away into the distance. And I was like, here it is. This is my moment. And I think a lot of people worried that I was trying to suggest that we'd see bodies and sort of decaying corpses. And I was like, no. I just want to see them again. I sort of want to say goodbye to them properly before they go, before we disappear completely and never come back. And I think we had these little beats of the gates being left open, which Bill would never have done. All of the flowers dying that Frank would never have let happen. But yeah, it was kind of melancholic, basically. It was kind of beautiful and kind of a farewell. So
it was, it was the perfect ending to a perfect episode. Thank you, Peter, for your time today. We'll bring you back shortly for the panel.
Thank you very much.